Good evening and welcome to the Laverne Board of Zoning Appeals, July 28th, 2015, the regular meeting at 5:30. We do have a quorum. We do have one member absent. That's Mr. Pollock, and unfortunately he's not here due to a death in the family, so our thoughts and prayers are with him. First agenda item is to approve the minutes from June 30th, 2015, the regular meeting. Has everyone had a chance to go over that?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion carries. First order of new business is an accessory structure variance requested by Ralph D. Wright. Property is located at 301 Kimberly and Court. It's tax map 018J, Group D, Parcel 10.00. It's 0.27 acres. It's R2 medium density residential zoning district, and the parcel is owned by Ralph D. Wright. And we'll have the staff report from Kristen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wright is here to ask for a variance to allow him to place a swimming pool in his side yard. He has the property at 301 Kimberly Ann. As you can see, it is a corner lot located at the intersection of Kimberly Ann and Moonlight Drive. Technically, his front door faces Moonlight, which, because it's a corner lot, the way the addressing is done in the city, that makes wherever your front door is, that makes that the front, which makes this technically the rear. And with this also being a corner lot front, this would be the side. So Mr. Wright applied for a pool permit and was informed that he could not place the pool right here where he would like to place it because it's technically his side yard. So he is here to ask for a variance to allow to place that in the side yard. The regulations for accessory structures state that you have to be in the rear yard and no closer than 10 feet from any property line. Now, with the placement of the pool where he wants to place it, he will still be more than 10 feet from the other property lines. He's got, I believe that's 12 here and 15 feet here. You can see that is his property. You can see where he would like to place the pool. You can see his neighbor has a fence that already runs this way. He plans on fencing off the pool per regulation, so the fence will, you won't even see the pool from the street, and the fence will run mostly in line with his property, his neighbor to the left there. A couple more pictures. You can see where the pool will go roughly in this direction. That's the front from Moonlight. And then this is technically, this is for looking at his garage from Kimberly. And so per the regulations, he would have to have it sitting right back behind there, and there's just no room. So he's asking for the variance to allow him to place the pool in the side yard, and it's staff's opinion that the granting of such variance will not be injurious to the harmony of the surrounding parcels or the neighborhood. There's been a sign out on the property for over a month now, and I have received 0 phone calls from any neighbors with any concerns.
All right, would you please come to the podium and be sworn in, please? Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. State your name and address for the record.
Ralph D. Wright, Jr., 301 Kimberly Ann Court, Laverne, Tennessee, 37086.
All right. Do you have anything other to add?
No.
Does staff have any questions for the applicant?
Couple of quick questions. So it's going to be above ground pool,
Yeah, it's above ground.
and you intend to tie into the neighbour's fence?
Yeah, I won't actually tie to it. I'll just butt up to it.
Oh, that'll be okay.
Yeah.
So you can use part of this fence as part of the fencing for the whole pool? at the end of
Yes,
the day?
I was going to come off the front corner of my property and then butt up against the fence that showed on the left of my property, and then come to the back property and run all the way up to the front corner of the garage, and then back into the garage side up there on Kimberly Ann side.
That's all I did, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Kyle, do you see any problems with any public utility and drainage easements?
There's not any easements in
Okay.
this area.
Well, at this time, is there anybody else have anything to say? Okay. This time, we'll take a motion to approve or disapprove.
Motion to approve as submitted.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Number 2 is a sign variance requested by Sonorama on behalf of Gold Chain Technologies. Property is located at 601 Mason Road, tax map 029, parcel 5.15. It's 12.80 acres. It's an I-2 heavy industrial zoning district, and the parcel is owned by Prologis Macquarie, Tennessee, LLC. Staff report, please, Kristen.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. I don't believe anybody is here on behalf of this item at the moment, but I can certainly go through the request as it's fairly simple, fairly minor. Cold Chain Technologies is moving from their present location in the Tech Park Industrial Park. They're moving into 601 Mason Road, which is formerly known as the Prologis Building. It still is owned by Prologis. It sits at the intersection of Mason and Industrial, and there is a rather steep drive, as you can see, coming off Mason. It's a terrible picture, I apologize. But as you make a right off of Mason, and you can see the monument sign here, they would like a variance to allow for 2 wall signs at their entrance. Be one right here, and then one on the opposite wall here. The corner, the entrance is a corner. The entrance to the building is a corner, so they have 2 sets of doors there, and they are just asking for they're asking for the ability to have a second wall sign so that they can be visible to people on 24, on Mason, on Industrial, and then also once they're in the parking lot at the business. It is over a 200,000 square foot mega warehouse, so a 100 square foot sign is what they're allowed, and that's rather small for such a monolithic building. The standards for signs do allow that they can have a sign variance if they have unusual topography, which they do have rather steep grade, and they are at the intersection of multiple road frontages, so the granting of a variance for a second sign would not be injurious to any of the other surrounding parcels. The sign's been on the property for over a month. I have not received one single phone call. And let me just yes, you can see that's what the sign is proposed to look like. It's 48 by 120, which is 4 by 10, so each sign will only be 40 square feet, so together they won't even be 100 square feet. That's the gist of the report, and I can answer any other questions that you may have.
Staff members or board have any questions for staff?
It fits in a requirement, and obviously with the, as submitted, it fits in with what we need to look at. So with that, I'll just make a motion to accept as submitted.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving right along. Number 3 is a sign variance requested by Milton Pate, Waffle House. Property is located at 108 Enterprise Drive, tax map 0170, Group A, parcel 5.00. It's 0.73 acres. It's in a C2 Highway Service Commercial Zoning District, and the parcel is owned by Southeast Waffle LLC. Kristen, staff report, please.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, 108 Enterprise Boulevard is the current site of our Waffle House that has been there since the early 1980s. They were approved for a demolition and rebuild by the Planning Commission in early spring 2015. They are going to be building back at the same location with a just slightly smaller footprint, just their new corporate prototype. They would like permission to utilize the exact same signage that is on the building at present, which is 4 small letter signs. I guess it's just the words Waffle House. There's no logo. The four different signs. The elevations are in your packet. I've got them up here as well. And even when you combine all four of those signs, it amounts to about 114 square feet in total, just barely over the allowable area for one sign. The sign package, as Waffle House indicates, is a typical corporate sign package. They've got the same exact package at every location. They try to exercise consistency in branding, and because of their location, which is it's behind the Crystal and some other, we've got a couple gas stations and fast food restaurants there. It's really difficult to see that Waffle House unless you know it's there. As you can see, it's an L shape with this being Waldron Road, and their frontage technically is on Enterprise. So again, the sign that covers sign variances allows for extra signage if the zoning lot is unusually shaped, or if it's on a lot with multiple road frontages. Both of those would apply in this situation, and it's staff's opinion that the granting of the variance will not be injurious to the harmony of the surrounding parcels. We've had a sign there for probably 5 weeks, and I've not received a single phone call as well.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Is Mr. Pate here? Please step to the podium, please. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address, please.
I'm Milton Pate with Waffle House, 5986 Financial Drive, Norcross, Georgia, 30071.
Thank you. Staff have any questions for the applicant?
Are you going to have a ground sign as well?
No.
No, so it's all be all on the building itself.
There'll be the existing pylon sign that's there today,
Right.
and then the variance request would be for 4 building signs.
Okay, Kristen, it's basically just adding 14 more square foot to the max. So it's,
That's correct.
okay, 114.
Technically, these signs would be, if he were to have come in and asked to replace them, they would be considered grandfathered in because they've been there since the 80s, before the sign regulations came into place, or the current ones. But because he's demolishing and rebuilding, he's asked, we need the variance to square them away and be compliant.
I do agree, it is a hard building to see. So, any other questions for the applicant? This time I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny as submitted.
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion carried. Do all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Pate. All right. Number 4 is a special exception to a cellular tower in the I-2 district. It is requested by Kayla Kramer, Branch Communications. Property is located at 451 Mason Road, tax map 029, parcel 5.01. It's an I-2 heavy industrial zoning district. Parcel is owned by Beacon Transport Properties, LLC. Staff report, Ms. Costanzo.
All right, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of Branch Communications, Ms. Kramer is here tonight asking for the special exception to allow a cell tower in the I-2 district. This is at Beacon Transport, in an existing industrial business at 451 Mason Road. It is a rather large site. It's about 20.54 acres, as we discussed, and the tower will go about in this location here. It's going to be 730 feet from Mason Road. It is surrounded entirely by I-2. You've got McKesson, and you've got the Prologis building down here. Again, cell towers are a special exception in all districts. We do require that they provide us information on the height and type, which is proposed to be a 190-foot monopole. It has to be at least 300% of tower height away from existing residential. It is proposed to be 700 feet from the nearest home, so that meets that requirement. They have provided an 8-foot high vinyl fence with a lock and gate, and they have a heavy vegetation landscaping plan that will surround the base of the tower. They have provided us with the site ground lease, as well as the letter accommodating other service providers in the future for co-location. In the back of your packet is the letter from the FAA and the FCC indicating the intent to construct and that there is no hazard to air navigation. I have, of course, received the label matrix, and just for, just for other information, they will be providing a 12-foot wide paved access road, which will be overlain with a 30-foot wide access easement for maintenance purposes. And I've had the sign on that property for about 5 weeks, and I've not received a single phone call from anybody in the vicinity. And Ms. Kramer is here if you have any questions.
All righty, thank you, Kristen. The 190 foot, is that with the height variance that they're going to be asking for as well?
That will be the next, that's the next item that you will be reviewing. Just the special exception to even look at the site plan is what we're looking at first.
Okay, so it's the 190 foot. All right, Ms. Kramer, would you step and approach the podium, please? Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. State your name and address, please.
Kayla Kramer, 1516 South Boston Avenue, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
All righty. Staff, if you have any questions?
Just one question, on the fencing, we're going to put the slat covers in? Or
No,
will we-
it's, at the design review meeting we had, you requested that we do the vinyl fencing instead, so we replaced the slat fencing with the vinyl fencing.
Okay, good. Please, you got the FA letter, that's good to see.
Yeah, that was the one I was really questioning. Any other questions for the applicant? All right, there being no further questions, do I have a motion to approve or disapprove as submitted?
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
All righty, do we have a second?
Second.
We do have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All righty, number 5 is a height variance for the cellular tower requested by Kayla Kramer, Branch Communications. Property is located at 451 Mason Road, tax map 029, parcel 5.01. It's an I-2 heavy industrial zoning district. The parcel is owned by Beacon Transport Properties, LLC. Kristen, staff report.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, the report has a lot of the previous information.
Correct.
Now, again, the zoning ordinance, the new regulations for cell towers does limit them to 150 feet of maximum tower height in section 4.120C, but it does go on to read that the Board of Zoning Appeals may allow antennas greater than 150 feet in height upon review of the justification. Now, they have submitted a variety of documentation from their senior engineer, which shows the coverage maps, showing the local service areas with and without the proposed tower. They have indicated compliance with all of the applicable FAA and FCC agency requirements for power limitations, RF emissions, and exposures. Again, there's the FAA letter indicating the no hazard to air navigation based on the submitted tower design and the proposed 190-foot height. Ms. Kramer indicated that the proposed height is to provide the best coverage for the future of the area, which will limit the need for additional towers since they will be allowed, other providers will be allowed to co-locate on this specific tower. And the 190-foot height actually falls, in your packet you've got a list of other towers in the vicinity, and they actually range from 100 feet to 320 feet in height, with a similar 190-foot tower just down the road at Bell Road. And again, there's been a sign on the property for over a month. I've not received a single phone call for this item.
Thank you, Kristen. Ms. Kramer, would you step back to the podium, please? You're already sworn in, so does staff have any questions for the applicant on the height?
I do not know.
You do not? No questions? All righty, at this time, we'll take a motion to approve or disapprove the height variance.
Motion to approve as submitted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Kramer. All righty, there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.